Good morning, day, night, evening, afternoon, guys. Welcome on, welcome on, welcome on. How are you all doing today? How's it going? So I'm not gonna be doing much today. Yo, thank you so much for the 20 months.
Bowls. Friendly reminder to turn off TTS for the podcast. Bowls.
That is a good call. That is a good call indeed. Let me do that right away. So if I have the... Like if I'm trying to restream this guy here, right? I should probably at that point like put my chat maybe. I mean, okay, ideally I can just like remove my chat because he's gonna like...
Good, you're back.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen, right? Maybe not. I think he's gonna merge the chats. I have to like, yeah, I had to remove the chat, remove that. Remove this, remove Tangia, remove browser. Actually, no, I need the browser music, of course. Like, I need his audio, right? Obviously. So that will need to be added. And then we can, yeah, remove the alert box. Yeah. All right. Wait, is Tangia even working in this scene? Why do I not see it? Like, I see it in this scene. I can mute it here. Where the fuck is it here? Hello? Or, oh, it disappeared because I'm not showing it. Okay, that makes sense. Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me just like finish up some stuff and then I hope he's gonna like... Just preparing some other like videos in the background as well. Like I finally got some of the Grim Dawn basic videos like redone for you guys. I have 4 episodes coming out like in the next couple of days now at least. And then hopefully maybe I can do like one more like short tips video or something like that. And then we'll have some videos out for new people for release. For them to enjoy. How's the audio on his stream, by the way? Oh, you can't hear it. Okay, like... Is the audio on his stream fine? Like, he's only in the main menu right now and you can only hear the Forgotten God stuff. But hopefully it's fine. Good on Twitch. Oh yeah, can you hear it on YouTube? Or do I mean, it should work on YouTube. I should have thought about everything this time. But who knows, right? Who knows? Could always fuck stuff up. Alright, that is done. Just preparing some more videos real quick. Good on YouTube too? Okay, nice, nice. So hopefully the chat share and everything is gonna like work properly. I tried it like with Zantai once, but then
How do I get to the hidden website? Okay,
you can hear
the
him,
hidden
right?
website, it's hidden because it's not done. Right now we only have one build up. We're still going through the design aspects. But if you are on actionrpg.com, to
Oh, yeah.
the top up
That's
here,
actually big.
to the right of No Rest for the Wicked,
I should maybe like show you
there's
guys
a
too.
hidden button. If you click on that, it takes you to the new Grim Dawn branch that we're working on.
Because I will actually be also working with him on this, right? There is gonna be a Grim Dawn branch for Action RPG as well, just to like, you know, get some more coverage out there for the game and everything. Like he was gonna do one probably anyway, and he approached me, and since neither Maxroll nor Mobilitix did approach me, yeah. Alright, doing it now. Sounds good.
All right, let's gonna see how this works. Rect wants me to do Grim or stream together. So I'm gonna invite him to this and see how it works. I've never done this before.
Yeah, let's see if this works.
No. Okay. Invite a guest.
Let's go.
Wrecked by Protoss.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Wrecked. I have no idea how this works, so I've got my mic off and my video off. Share chat is enabled. Wrecked by Protoss. Send invite. Who the hell? Look at who's this guy?
Alright, nice. Should work.
I didn't invite him. Okay, I invited him. It worked? I don't know. I have no idea. He's here, so I guess that's good. I don't know. Looks good to me. I'm writing from my chat.
Yeah, you guys can now cross chat, basically. You can chat with Aaron's chat.
Oh my gosh, Frosty is live too. Hold on, wait, I gotta include Frosty.
Yo, Lizard, thanks so much for the raid.
Forget about Frosty. Don't even.
Welcome in,
don't
Lizards.
Start.
Appreciate it.
Where the hell's Frosty? Stream together. Uh-oh. Wait.
Yeah, should probably also invite Frosty. Can I close this window? I can close the window, right? Yeah. Nice. Grim Dawn superfans, yeah. Where are the Grim Dawn superfans at? Are they already on Action RPG? ActionRPG.com has a new Grim Dawn branch. Not out yet, but soon. Soon TM. Soon TM. I mean, I have some other videos in the pipeline, as you can see. One of which came out today, and then more in the following days. Some new update videos.
Do I need to knock? Hold on a second. No. It's just so weird you would... Oh, I hit accept. You knocked. Uh-oh.
Make sure tips and tips trigger.
It says getting ready.
Trick's video doesn't just involve the first rift, yeah.
Frosty's getting ready.
Yeah.
Frosty? Frosty is the one who knocks, of course.
No, he needs to join his, like, since I'm already like in his now.
He's getting clips ready. This is gonna be crazy. Frosty's in.
Hey, let's go. Alright, he's not sharing chat yet though, right? Like he needs to have this enabled.
Frosty shared chat for you is not available. Oh my gosh, I love that I could just kick them out. Look, I have the power to remove them whenever I want. Excellent. Wait, what did I say? Okay. Oh, brother.
Report.
You know what I meant. Yeah. He's got to share chat, not audio. You got to share your chat, not audio, bro. What a power trip. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I wouldn't do that to Frosty.
Oh boy, this is gonna be good.
4 more days. Let me in already. Let me in.
No jokes allowed on the internet, yeah. True.
Streaming's hard. Exactly. There's no jokes allowed on the internet. Okay.
Alright, once we are in the Discord call, I'll just mute myself on my stream, and then we'll basically just restream his stream, and I'll be, like, the audio of myself is also gonna be, like, through his stream, of course. Just so you guys know. You did it! Hooray!
Alright. I have ads turned all the way down. I'm going to run a manual ad right now. Get that. Welcome, Frosters and Wrecked by Protoss. Hello. Okay. Ad running. Questions. Good. I'm going to move the questions list to over here.
What runs skip? Greetings, Grim Dawners. Greetings, everybody on YouTube and Twitch.
It's fine.
I mean, YouTube's not going to have a shared chat, so if you guys are writing on YouTube, I don't think Aaron can read your chat if you're writing on YouTube.
Idea.
However,
I've never done this before. Hopefully, it's not a nightmare. He goes, nah, it'll be fun.
This is great. You can of course like still see the entire thing on YouTube and like
he changes
see
everything.
the entire audio.
I
mean, hear the entire audio.
Not everything.
So like if you want,
not everything.
If you want Aaron to see your questions, you would have to go over to either my Twitch channel or his Twitch channel and write there. If you write on my Twitch, he can read it, but if you write on my YouTube, he cannot, unfortunately. It is what it is. YouTube is just Lurker King. You are a Grim Donor. Let's go, Lizard. Let's go. It's about time. Muting everybody because no spoilers. Why are you even here? I mean, okay, now stay here, but... I'm sorry, babe.
I'm muting everybody because no spoilers, please.
Time, yeah.
No worries.
Hey.
Why am I even here? Because you want to support. Duh. Everybody knows that.
See?
Head into the pool with the kids. See you soon. All right. Also, everybody, I said it before. At the end of the podcast, I'm going to be drawing a free copy of Fangs. If you want a chance to win,
behave, chat, right? Everything you write, he can also read now.
Yes.
Him over there.
It's going to work. It's going to work.
This guy. He will read your chat, so behave, chat. Oh yeah, there's a giveaway on his stream, I think. I don't know if you can write exclamation point giveaway in my stream to join. This might be messy.
I'm very curious.
This is the giveaway spam.
Because of all the cameras working on Twitch and stream together, when I pull them off Discord, if it's going to work right. We're going to see. Wait, is Grim Dawn coming out today? It's out on the 23rd.
Log in now, yeah. Guys, thanks to Asterkarn, it's coming out on July 23rd.
I only have 4 days. That's right, Tech. 2 builds
yeah,
a day.
this, yeah.
You're not allowed to breathe.
Just so you guys
Actually,
know
you're
as well.
only allowed to breathe. That's it. Rip my free time? I can't wait. 23rd's gonna be legendary. Devil Dog, don't jump into don't do that.
Alright, I'll mute
We're getting a
myself
teaser
on
video for the new Grim Dawn stuff. Well, it's already
OBS
been
now, and then
teased.
you'll
So
hear me
during the
through.
like share a screen, we've
through
got
his
Rectify
Discord.
Protoss gameplay of Fangs area. So kind of, you'll see some of the stuff that's already teased.
Hopefully this works. Waiting for the call. We're not doing any Tangia
What build
TTS.
should I play in PoE 1?
I have disabled
Lucky
that
you're
shit.
in the wrong place for
I
that.
should like disable the channel points at least, so you guys
Can't
aren't
ask that
getting like
question in
minus
this chat.
10k.
You're gonna get smoked.
Hold on, where is it? Yeah, let's disable that for now. Sorry you're getting scammed, fishing hat.
RF Chieftain, obviously. Here we go. All right. Frosty. Someone go tell Frosty to go to the Discord since he's live right now.
What?
All right. Let's
cool.
kill this clock. That is gone. And Frosty is here. All right, everybody. Fingers crossed this works perfectly. I'm going to go grab Frosty, Rect, and Zantai for the official Grim Dawn podcast to prepare for Fangs of Asterkarn. We got this. I'll be right back. I'm going radio silent, okay? Radio silent starts right meow.
Town Portal Podcast, where the gamers unite, along with Aaron and Frosty. We're taking flight, tune in, level up, turn the quest. In the world of action, we're the best. Welcome to the Town Portal Podcast.
And they are. Look at that. Hello,
Whoa,
everyone.
look at that.
And welcome to the
Nice.
official Town Portal Podcast, episode 16.
Oh.
My name is Aaron, owner and operator of the YouTube channel Action RPG. And today we're going to be talking about all things Grim Dawn, all things Crate Entertainment, all things Fangs of Asterkarn, which is releasing on July 23rd. Hopefully we got a good show for you today. Frosty, I'm going to check all the audio levels. Why don't you go ahead and do your intro, sir?
I'm going to, because I'm also checking my audio levels and I'm stalling real quick. Hold on.
It's totally fine.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to fix it once you talk after I talk. Okay. Welcome, everybody. We have two fantastic guests joining us today. First up, Zantai, production director at Crate Entertainment. Not
Hello,
only
Internet.
is he helping bring us the upcoming Fangs of Asterkarn expansion for Grim Dawn, but rumor has it he also enjoys long walks on the beach in between working on the many mysterious projects Crate definitely isn't ready to talk about yet. And joining with him is Wrecked by Protoss, just some guy we found wandering the streets. Somehow, despite that, he knows an absurd amount of Grim Dawn information and has become one of the community's best content creators. So I guess we decided to keep him around. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Why don't we start with some introductions? Zantai, would you mind kicking things off first by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Oh boy. Well, I'm Camille Marcheski. I'm the production director at Crit Entertainment. I've been here since the Stone Age at this point. This is honestly like most of my industry experience has been with Crate, and I've been sticking around because I love working here and I've been enjoying what I've been doing. So looking forward to 10 more years at least. We'll see what happens after that. Maybe we'll like
At
make
least
Grim Dawn
10.
2
At
and go
least.
off to space. We'll ascend to our next era.
Very cool. Rect, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, sir? Intro.
So I'm Wrecked by Protoss. I am currently one of the developers for the Grim Dawn community leagues. We are hopefully getting out a season 8 at some point after Fangs of Asterkarn. Will kind of depend on how quickly we can, figure out some difficulties that we have right now with it. And otherwise, I've been playing the game since late 2016. I've always been a big fan of the game and love playing and streaming it and creating guides for it. Thank you so much for letting me be here.
No, awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming on today. Normally, these podcasts are about 90 minutes. When we start getting close to that mark, if we have more to cover, we'll kind of chat and see how it's going to go. So, nevertheless, we're going to jump right into it on questions. Zantai, we'd love to know how you joined Crate Entertainment. So, tell us just a little bit about your journey joining the studio.
So the quick TLDR, because I'm obviously not going to get into my life story.
Of course.
I was actually supposed to be a materials engineer of all things. That's actually where I got a degree in. But I kept working on mods in the background. Like even while the machines were running, like collecting data, I was just like tinkering away at a mod I was working on for StarCraft 2 that ended up becoming pretty big. And so when it came time to apply for jobs, I applied for engineering jobs and I applied for game design jobs, being like, throwing my fate to the wind and seeing what happens. And so happened that one of the first job offers I got was from a company that no longer exists called 38 Studios, run by Kurt Schilling. Some people might know about that. And I ended up working there for about a year as a content designer. And unfortunately, the company ran out of funds, went kaput, and everyone started having to look for work very quickly.
I see.
And it so happened that one of my cube mates at 38, Morgan Brown, used to work on Titan Quest and knew Arthur Bruno, the founder of Crit Entertainment. And that was right around when the Kickstarter was happening for Grim Dawn. So I literally backed the Kickstarter, thinking like, oh, this game looks cool. I might want to play it someday, and contributing to my first paycheck in the process.
There you go.
But yeah, so Morgan was like, oh, this guy I know is looking for people to hire, and you like ARPGs, like maybe I could get you guys in contact, and the rest is history.
10 years later, right?
Yeah. 14 years later now.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been around.
Frosty?
Sorry, I'm having an audio problem here. I just need a second. Ask one more question. Sorry about this.
No, you're talking about on your stream. You're coming through clear.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah,
this is the first time we're doing this combined thing. I think no one's hearing literally anything on if they're looking at mine. So if you don't hear anything on mine, switch over to Wrecked by Protoss or Aaron's. They got their stuff together. Okay. Zantai, my first question is, when you first joined Crate, was Grim Dawn the first game you worked on?
So at Crate, it was the first game I worked on, yeah. So before that, I was working at 38 Studios, which was supposed to be an MMO that never came out. But yeah, Grim Dawn was the first game I was hired on for Crate. The whole idea was that we're going to ship it in like 6 months to a year, which was, going to be a much smaller game than we actually ended up releasing. But yeah, I was supposed to, work on quests, work on like making levels. Ended up kind of sticking my tentacles into everything, and I was like, oh, Arthur, I could work on items a bit, I could work on class skills a bit, and just kind of eventually did a little bit of everything. But since like right around then, like Diablo 3 was coming out, like Torchlight 2 had come out, Path of Exile was in development, and we're like, I'm not sure we can release a game this small anymore and really like make any impact at all. So we just kind of like, let's see if we can like kind of stretch out these funds. And like this is when Steam Greenlight started, and which eventually turned into early access. So like that was like these lifelines kept kind of popping in front of us, like putting rails in front of our train, just like almost like fated to be like we always got this additional lifeline to just keep going a little longer, and like early access happened, and that was an inflow of people jumping in on the game. And since we were so small and so lean, like it didn't take a lot of funds for us to keep going. But that is literally what allowed us to be like, okay, like let's add one more act, let's add another class, let's add more items. And so Grim Dawn, by the time it shipped, was, I don't know, like 4 times larger than we originally envisioned it was going to be.
How did the community receive Grim Dawn once it launched? Was it better than expected? Did it explode? How did everyone react when it first launched?
So when we first hit 1.0, like our goal, our like dreams of success was going to be 250,000 copies sold. And given that we're in the 5 millions of the base game alone now, I think that's a little bit higher than we anticipated.
Yeah.
But initially, like reception was pretty good. Like we were in the upper 80s, I think 88% review on Steam. So most people liked it. We're pretty happy, and like word of mouth kept spreading. And like over that first year, I would say, like when sales like instead of like tapering off, like remained pretty steady and even like increased. So Grim Dawn has had an incredibly long tail in terms of like revenue for us, where like some games you expect like like taper off and like eventually you have to do like 90% discounts to even like see a bump in sales. But Grim Dawn has been a very steady long tail that lasted years beyond the 1.0 release.
And you couldn't tell us how many copies are sold. So I had some people are like, I bet Grim Dawn sold 500,000 copies, and then someone's like,
and
no,
the base
dude,
game, I
sold
think
like
we're
10
approaching
million.
8 million now.
Well, it's not quite
So
10 million.
much
Like,
more than
between
the 250,000
DLCs
copies
and
we
the
were
base game, I
aiming
think
for.
we're approaching 8 million now.
Nice. And
So
obviously
much more than
that
the 250,000 copies we
tail
were
is
aiming
what
for.
was the decision making around we should make an expansion, we should make another expansion, right? Because obviously the revenue that could drive other projects in the game.
So the first expansion we did promise in the Kickstarter, so that was happening for sure. But Fangs
Okay.
or Forgotten Gods was not originally in the plans. We just kind of looked at the numbers, looked at the conversion rate between base game owners and Ashes of Malmeth people picking up, and that was like above 30%, which for a DLC is really high. So we're like, we think we should do another DLC. But like that's kind of the thing, like with the revenue that we did get, like beyond what we expected, like we poured it back into the game. It's kind of the thing, like all the money that we did get, like beyond what we expected, like we poured it back into the game. We like all the money that we're making, like let's just spend more time developing the game and improving it, and which then in turn meant that people were happier and spreading the word, and so Grim Dawn kept selling pretty well. So you could say that the investment definitely paid off.
Awesome.
Well,
Now,
got a question for
go ahead,
you,
Frosty.
Wrecked by Protoss. When did you first jump in? Did you jump in right at launch 1.0? And also follow-up question, would you prefer Mr. Protoss or Wrecked by Protoss?
So first of all, either Rect or Protoss is fine to me. Like that's
Okay.
either fine for me. When it comes to when I first started playing Grim Dawn, it was in December 2016. So I was late to the party when it came to like Grim Dawn release, because back then I was mostly playing still MOBAs or RTS games or even card games like Hearthstone. And I had a friend who loved Diablo 2, but I never played Diablo 2. And then he made me play Diablo 3 at some point with the Reaper of Souls expansion, like 1 or 2 years before that. And then I basically just searched, I think on Steam, like game or like in Google, like games like Diablo 3. And then Grim Dawn somehow came up, and I was like, hey, this looks kind of cool. And you have guns, so yeah. I think I saw like a small gameplay trailer of a like dual gun purifier. And that was pretty much what like made me buy the game. And then I No, the first day that I played the game, it was like the night before Christmas, and I had to like take a train at like 8 p.m. the next day to get to my parents' place. But I ended up playing Grim Dawn until like 4 or 5 a.m. So I didn't sleep at
Nice.
all and just like slept on the train basically.
It got its
And
hooks
then,
in you,
yeah,
right? You
after-
couldn't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of stories like that of people just like never hearing about the game before until someone mentions it on Reddit or they see like, games like this. And like even now I'm seeing people like, "Oh, I can't believe I missed out on this game all this time." Like
That's how I feel.
Where have you been?
It's like
right?
word of mouth.
yeah, like there's so many even now, like since our advertising was never, huge, like we're still an indie company. We're not like blowing millions of dollars on advertising and, we don't get a ton of attention from the media either. So
Mhm.
word of mouth is literally how word spreads
Oh.
about Grim Dawn existing. So even now people are discovering it for the first time, which is awesome to
Yeah,
me.
we shouldn't expect a World Cup ad, is what you're saying? No?
No, I don't think so.
They deserve it,
Plus,
but don't
the team I
expect
was
it.
rooting for is already out, so
I would like to know. There was no plans to make Fangs of Asterkarn. So hey, we're no longer doing any more expansions. Grim Dawn is done. What made Crate Entertainment decide, maybe we'll dip our toe back into Grim Dawn? I'd love to hear just a little bit about how the new expansion came to be.
no, we were pretty adamant, and especially me on the forums, like Forgotten Gods, like we were done. We're not making any more expansions. We'll still, do balance updates, but like Grim Dawn's basically in support mode. But there were a couple of factors that kind of made us turn around. One was that, not to throw shade, Diablo 4's initial reception was
My God.
mixed, and we had a shockingly big spike of players talking about the game online, like on Reddit and everywhere, like, hey, if you don't like Diablo 4, check out this game. And like our player numbers spiked substantially right around that time in a way that we're not expecting, especially like at that point the game, the last expansion hadn't been out for like 3 years, so like the game was effectively, like I said, like in support mode.
Yeah.
But then these player numbers spiked, like our sales numbers spiked, and we were kind of like looking at this like, do we need to take advantage of this? And then we kind of thought about, we have this RTS in development that's set in the Grim Dawn universe. Like, what if we like made another expansion and like focused in on the faction that's in that RTS that we haven't really fleshed out in Grim Dawn? So what if we kind of like, use this opportunity to develop this faction that people don't know very much about? And I'd say the final decision, or the final factor that made us decide to do this expansion, was going to our programming director, who's known as Riss on the forums. Like, he's been around since even before me on Grim Dawn. And we're kind of like, look, like if we do another expansion, I feel like we need to try shapeshifting. And like, why don't you take a stab at it? Because like we've always thought that this engine couldn't do it. That this was just not in the cards to make shapeshifting work in this engine. And he was just like, give me a minute. And like Saturday night at like 11 p.m., he's just like, here you go. And there was like a prototype that was working. Like, it took a lot of work after that to like really polish it and get it to the point that's now releasing. But like we were, we had a proof of concept. We're like, okay, we can do werewolves. Let's do it. That's when we just, went, full steam, like worked on the key art, started like ramping up the project, got people like moved around in the company to like get a team back together for Grim Dawn specifically. And yeah, the rest, and then here we are 3 years later.
Yeah.
Now,
And
do
is
you
this
know
the
that Frosty
largest-
LaRue is Diablo's #1 super fan? Did you know that
Oh,
about
yeah,
Frosty?
yeah.
I did not know that about Frosty.
I mean, like Diablo 4 is good. You said it was mixed review, like a delicious bowl of salad mix. Do you mean, right? Like,
I mean, initially there was I would say that the game has improved tremendously since it released. Like,
yes,
no,
it's the
there's no
best it's
denying that.
ever been. It's
For
a step
sure.
in the right direction.
And
We're getting
I
there.
played the second expansion for it, and I've had a great time.
$200 later,
Yeah,
free
$200
expansions. We're almost there. Just a little bit more money, and we got it.
But
so
initially
you're talking
there
about-
was a bit of a upset about it, but that's kind of what helped us in the end, I guess. But go ahead.
Yeah. You said you were talking about creating the Berserker class, and you mentioned the werewolf. There's also a were raven. Were there any other transformations that you thought of that you scrapped?
I would say the only other one we're considering is the classic Werbear. But ultimately, we're kind of like, so the werewolf already kind of fills the niche of this tankier, like, melee class, and we wanted to try something a little different, something, like a Grim Dawn take on things that hasn't been done. And we're like, what could be a really cool creature that kind of fits the current lore and, would look really cool in practice? And I threw out Were Raven and like came up with some art that was like online of like, winged humanoids, and you kind of got the artist's mind rolling, and that's how we came up with Raven. But yeah, Rare I would say is the only other one. But there is one more Were form in the game that people might stumble upon
Oh,
in some way.
secret?
Wait a second. There's another form that hasn't been announced yet. Is that what you just said?
Yeah,
That's what I just
it's
said.
a secret form, possibly. We'll figure. How long do you think before the community figures it out?
Oh, given the community's past history, within a week, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are
People
secrets.
find that
there.
stuff fast. When there's a will and there's a lot of people putting their minds to it, people find secrets fast.
Real quick, just a side note: is there a dedicated secrets finder sub Discord in your Discord, or?
Not to my knowledge. It just kind of, the thread just pops up on the forums and people start
Okay.
speculating and collecting their notes and being like, oh, this is weird. What was this here before? In Forgotten Gods, we literally left like a decal of the Crane Entertainment logo just out in the desert. So people are like, is that a bug? It's like, is that a missing texture? And like, no, there's more.
It's there
to
on
it.
purpose.
It's there on
Nice.
purpose.
So how does it go from Grim Dawn's done, it's in support mode, like we dropped the last expansion, Forgotten Gods, to okay, proof of concept, to 3 years later? Is that just scope creep?
Yeah.
I know you guys obviously had to delay multiple times to get to this point, but was it just, hey, this is going to be the last expansion, we just want to knock it out of the park? I'd love to hear that 3-year journey a little bit.
There was definitely a bit of scope creep where we kind of didn't pump the brakes early enough, I would say, than perhaps we should have. But there, like you said, though, there was this energy, this feeling like this is for sure the last expansion. Like there's a 100% chance it's the last expansion. And we're like,
Sure.
like let's do this thing that we've always wanted to do. Like do this, like let's get this in there. Like let's flesh out this world. And we got the level designers like building levels, and they got pretty big. And we had two options at that point. Like should we just scrap some stuff and make the world smaller, to fit the original scope, or like, but then like we have these pretty levels, why don't we just use them? And so we just kept developing the content necessary to kind of fill it in, so it doesn't feel like it's just stretched out just for the sake of being big. And yeah, that took 3 years.
Let's say you sell 10 million copies. You wouldn't come just. Is there even a little hope that there's another expansion, or no, this is it?
No, this is going to be it for actually getting into technical reasons. There's like a hard limit on how big the world can get in this engine. We've already actually like kind of pushed it twice over development of like the previous expansions, and
Got it.
now.
Okay, that makes sense.
And like if we go any higher, I feel like modders wouldn't like Rect is working on the community league. Like there actually wouldn't be room left in the world for them to add anything, because we would hit this hard limit where the game would literally
We'd have to make it
crash.
even bigger again.
Yeah, like that's one technical reason. The other one that's kind of been bothering me, even in Forgotten Gods, is that our item tooltips are getting out of control. And to add any more, like
it's like
I feel like we can't do
the
it.
longest ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, like you have to like scroll and scroll, like 2 pages later, like okay, here's the tooltip for one item.
Aaron just doesn't even read them. He just is like, whatever, this looks good.
It looks like a bonus.
Yeah, what are the pet stats on it? Wait, what did I say?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Like if we add another expansion, like we have to do another class. I feel like that's just expected, and like it's such a selling feature that would have to happen. And like adding another class is, 10 more combinations that would happen on top of everything that's already in there. We would have to add it onto existing items. We would have to make a ton of new items to support all these combinations.
Yeah.
It's an exponential problem.
Yeah, and also, isn't there like a limit to how many characters Steam will allow you to even create? So if you make a new master, you can't have literally one of every combo at that point.
Yeah, it's at that point it's literally impossible, because it's a Steam Cloud is pretty generous, all things considered. Like they give you a lot of space per game, but they do have a file limit. And Grim Dawn's save files, the way they were formatted, like there's multiple save like files per character that exist, and either we would have to like rework that to consolidate into one file, or we just have to be like, sorry, the limit's 50 characters because if you make any more, they will become corrupted, and that's why that limit's stuck this whole time. Not because like we're just really hard about 50 character limit. Like we don't care. Like go to local save and you can have 1,000 characters. Though I don't recommend that. I think just loading your data at that point would take a while.
Well, there you guys go. Officially on the Town Portal podcast. If the game sells 100 million copies, this is still the last expansion. But don't worry, later in the podcast, we've got lots of questions around the future and Grim Dawn 2. So I hope Zantai's ready for that. So, nevertheless,
Fair.
All the questions, every single question will be answered.
Every single one. I will not.
Everyone. Oh, okay, he's done.
he's like, I'm out of here.
So, while developing the expansion, did you take any community feedback and implement it from the community forums or even the community leagues that were being created? Did you take any inspiration from any of that that's in the expansion now?
Yeah, I would say there's a few things that I can think of right at the top of my head. For one, like we actually did a call with Rect and the rest of the community league guys before we announced the expansion, and we just kind of, poked around a little bit and like, hey, so like what features would you guys say were the most important in your community that you feel like would be great to have in Grim Dawn? And so we kind of talked about affix rerolling. We talked about like the ambush chests. And if you looked at the feature list for, the Ascendant mode, both of those things happen to be official now. So that's like two things that we straight up borrowed from the community league, because again, those are like some of the most popular things that people really liked in there. The other one that's actually not Fangs of Asterkarn specific, but patch 1.3 is a stash overhaul that we just did, where we added stash tabs dedicated to materials and components, and we added a way to just instantly transfer them from anywhere in the world, like right into your stash. So that was kind of a quality of life feature that I feel like's been on the community's been asking for. Like,
Dude,
hey, we need
so
more
nice. Oh, that is going to be such
you
a
can
great
transfer
change.
anywhere in the world.
Yeah, just this button in your
Is that
inventory.
currently in the 1.3 patch? Because I didn't know about this.
Yeah, like there's a button, like dedicated button right over your inventory in 1.3. So that's gonna go live on Thursday. You just click a button. Like there's a confirmation text that you can actually disable if you really don't care. Like click, everything just gets hoovered up, frees up space. You can keep going.
Oh, that's so nice. Wow. That is a nice quality of life. Was there anything that needed to be cut? And I know it's kind of a weird question, like something that didn't make it in, where it was like, oh, we were trying for this, but that's going to have to go to Grim Dawn 2. Was there anything like that as you were developing?
There's something that's been cut every single time we worked on an expansion. That's reworking the bounty system. The bounty system is something I scrapped together in the Grim Dawn, development that was made out of toothpicks and duct tape, like using basically the dialogue system, and I hate it. I wish I could rework it, but every time we were coming up with features for the expansion, we have to limit the scope at a certain point, and I'm like, I feel like these things are gonna have more impact than reworking the bounty system. So even though I hate it, and it's my greatest shame in Grim Dawn, you just keep leaving it for the next one and for the next one, and finally in Fangs of Asterkarn, we still cut the bounty system rework.
So that's just gonna sit that way forever.
It's just gonna be that way forever.
The 20 million copy goal, just update just the bounty system.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh,
if we sell 20 million copies, I will drag a programmer back in to rework the bounty system. How about that?
All right. That's saved. That's on the VOD. All right, now we got to find 20 million. Easy. No problem.
No problem.
Other than, I know you said you're thinking Berserker was like almost right away. Was there any other masteries you considered other than the Berserker?
There were two that we were thinking about. One was an alchemist kind of class, make like concoctions, like throwing explosive potions and stuff. And the other one was actually like a reformed Cthon cultist. And we're also thinking about doing that as like a transform class, where he would transform into different chthonic creatures. But we ended up feeling like that was maybe getting a little too far into the chaotic evil side of things, and whereas the story for Grim Dawn generally is that you are the hero of the story, you are trying to save humanity, and we're not sure that really fit to have like a literal worshiper of the absolute evil in the universe. So we ended up going with Berserker instead, and Berserker fit the Kern theme much better than those other two did.
Okay. Rect, you've played Werewolf and Were-Raven, is that correct?
Yeah, I've tried pretty much all the skills in Berserker at this point.
Which one do you like better? Like which, like out of the classes, give the community just a little bit
Yeah.
of a rundown on your feeling of both.
What's your
I think
top two
both
favorites?
feel awesome in like their own way. If you want to play a caster wereform, I would go for Raven. If you want to play like a melee in your face, kind of like bruiser, lifesteal based character, then I would rather go for a werewolf. So they have like a very distinct playstyle.
Could you play both?
But I think both are really fun. Yeah. Both at the same time. I wish there was more support for that, honestly, but I would have to say that probably not, especially now that both forms are permanent anyway.
Okay.
So, yeah.
There were a few items that kind of played with the idea of switching back and forth between forms back when they weren't permanent.
Yeah.
But now that they are, not sure it really makes sense to be swapping constantly. I do feel like if we did the wereforms differently, it's not as buffs, then that might have made more sense. But like in the scope of the engine, like that was the most logical way to do wereforms and not really conducive to flipping back and forth.
Okay.
Mm.
So Rect, which one's stronger?
Yeah.
Which was stronger? Oh, here we go to the spoiler territory.
What?
I'm officially not allowed to say anything until like 1 week after release, so.
Oh, he's using that against me. Just give him your honest opinion,
Just
man. It's
blink
okay.
twice.
I
If it's
I-
fair,
I won't ban
Personal
you from the
opinion, yeah.
Praetorian.
All right. How about in no particular order, because we're not giving anything away, for each werewolf or were-raven, what is your favorite 3 masteries to combine with each one of those?
Whoa.
Okay. I mean, there are some rather obvious ones that I guess I can tell you guys here, and if you've also like seen me play on stream. So, I mean, if you want to play a werewolf, right? There are 2 that I could say are pretty nice. Like a Nightblade, of course, works really well for, you know,
Nice.
the untransformed were-raven, like the Pierce code. I mean, not the were-raven, werewolf rather. Sorry, and the Chaos Werewolf will work really well, of course, with an occultist, right? Because I mean that one has lots of chaos damage and chaos resistance reduction, so it will work really well for that. For the Were-Raven, I would say the most fun that I had was either a Shaman or a Arcanist, or actually even an Inquisitor, because there are some items that, you know, convert the Were forms also to other elemental types. And there's one that I showed on stream as well, which converts the Raven to Lightning. And then because it has conversion to its cold and pierce damage, you can also use other skills from, for example, Inquisitor, which will be also converted by that global conversion that you get to the Raven. So I was, for example, trying out something like a Lightning Rune of Agorad Were-Raven build, which I'm not so sure if it has like the best endgame support, but it was really fun to try it out and, you know, like play with these like global conversions. That was fun to me.
Why is it word on the street is there's no necromancer support for Berserker?
I mean, there is necromancer support for Berserker, just not really for pets, I would have to say, to disappoint you, Aaron. Like,
maybe it's the secret 3rd transformation that's good with the necromancer.
That's what it is.
That's
Wait, is
got to
it?
be it.
If you were hoping for like a pet Berserker build, there is a sort of hybrid play style with Berserker, but it's specifically with occultist hounds because it turns them into wolves.
I was told there
True.
might be a way, wink, wink, to make your ravens as a were-raven. There's something there too.
So there is something like that. However, it's not pet scaling, it's player scaling. So what it does is it flips the ravens to instead work with player damage instead of pet damage.
Okay.
Damn it.
There's a
I thought I was
twist.
going to be able to iron down what class, I mean, what master I wanted to be. Now I want 3 different ones already.
Perfect.
I'm going to make so many characters.
Altitis
Welcome to
is a
Grim Dawn.
common symptom of Grim Dawn.
Mr. Protoss, what exactly is a community league, and when will the first one be live? Roughly, I know.
So, a community league is basically a, well, think of a Diablo 4 or Path of Exile season or league. So we do have a ladder, we do have a global chat, we do have a trade website, we do have basically challenges in the game that will award you points when you complete them in the game, and then based on that, your standing on the ladder will change. The ladder is not a like experience or level like grind ladder. it is about those challenges. And of course, at some point, multiple people could have like all the challenges done. So there's always going to be like some tiebreakers. In the past, those were things like pushing SR to the highest possible level, or defeating a super boss in the fastest possible time and stuff like that. Or what we also had in the season is we had these roguelike dungeons, which exist in the game as well, but we had them scale in a similar way as the Shattered Realm. And then we also had challenges where you would either speed clear those dungeons or also push those dungeons as deep as possible. And I mean, how can you play the Community League? You will have to register on our website, and then you would have to download a specific launcher, which will basically run the game through that launcher. So it can like extract like the information from the players to then like update the corresponding ladder standings and so on our website, and also to like enable the trade and enable like basically let us make sure that you guys aren't cheating, because I mean we need some protection as well from cheaters. We had like a couple cheaters in the past, and yeah, if we didn't have a system for that and we didn't have like the launcher hook into the game, then we wouldn't have been able to detect any of that, of course. So
and then normally don't you have some added league or season mechanics as well, or some special stuff you guys do with it, right?
Yeah, we had, for example, these ghost ambushes, which now in a way also have made it into the base game with the Chthonian ambushes. And we also created a full act over the time, or like over the time of the seasons, which will be there in future seasons as well. It will be complementing the Fangs of Asterkarn content. There might be some, I wouldn't say overlap, because the way Crate has done their Fangs of Asterkarn expansion is in many ways very different to like the stuff that we have done. Of course, they have more resources, so like the official stuff is going to look mostly better. But I think our stuff still has a place in our leagues, and has like a different styling to it, so it will still like feel refreshing enough, I think, to still be around. And yeah, just so you guys have even more content to play. So yeah. We might add some more stuff in the future, of course. So. Sorry.
We're honestly impressed with how much stuff you guys have put into these seasons over the years. Like, legitimately, great job.
And it's not officially part of Crate, right? So this is completely independent. Crate allows it, but isn't a part of it. Is that correct?
Yep. Like they've gone off on their own, like to put in all this crazy amount of work to create content for our community. Like,
that's awesome.
Just because they wanted to. Like, that's awesome to us that, you know, a team would get together and put in that much of their time to develop something like this.
Well, you talk about the game having a tail, right, as far as sales. A lot of that might be contributed to the work that Wrecked by Protoss put in. It's very cool. I love that.
I don't doubt that there's definitely been a portion of the community that stuck around because this community league ran every few seasons, every few months.
So cool.
For sure.
There's definitely There's definitely a decent section of people that are just like, I like ARPGs, but I actually really only like seasonal or league stuff. And they're like, hey, does Grim Dawn have that? And I'm like, yeah, they actually kind of do. And that sells, you know, that gets some people in to try it out, even just knowing that's there.
Yeah, for sure. And like, there's some pretty big mods that have also like caught people's attention, like the Reign of Terror mod that kind of puts Diablo 2 into the game and like lets you mix Diablo classes with Grim Dawn classes. Like, that's been a hugely popular one too. And again, an impressive amount of work was put into that.
Wrecked, I'm gonna need your team to make a Last Epoch season 2. Just so you know, it's got offline, so we'll put together a team and you know what? Never mind. Okay.
Yeah. You mean like if EHG is not releasing season 5, we'll have to do it for them?
Exactly. Bingo.
Ooh.
Oh,
that's rough.
Damn. It's in Grim Dawn first before it launches. Is there any type of mods you don't allow for the game?
The only thing we wouldn't allow is something that circumvents, you know, paying for the content that was made. Like, there have been a couple attempts at like making Crucible work outside of the Crucible DLC, which, you know, you have to draw a line somewhere, and that's kind of it. Yeah. Or like trying to reuse the Loyalist pack, like item art as like drops in various like content. Like, again, like that's kind of where we draw the line. Like, if something that people have to, you know, put their money in to get, and you're trying to circumvent that, like, we can't really allow that. Other than that, though, like, have fun with the tools. Like these tools that people are using were the same tools that we used to make the game. Like there isn't like some additional hidden tool that developers have that we're not letting people like have their hands on. Like these are the tools the game was made with. So the opportunities and the possibilities here are pretty wild, especially with some of the new tech that's in Fangs of Asterkarn, like super moddable. Like the Ascension altar, that's like one of the the key features of the expansion, that hooks into the scripting system for Grim Dawn in a way that modders like Rect could take in directions we haven't even thought of.
Nice. So, speaking of features for the expansion, one of my favorite features is the Ascendant mode, because there who doesn't want way more endgame? What exactly is the Ascendant mode?
So Ascendant mode is kind of the next pillar of our end game, like you were saying. Like what our goal was to take all that campaign content that has been made over 14 years of Grim Dawn development and make it relevant again. Because like people get to ultimate difficulty, they beat the campaign, and then like either you play Crucible, or you jump into the Shattered Realm, or you hunt like totems and stuff, and but at a certain point, like the campaign content just becomes way too easy, and it doesn't drop enough loot to kind of warrant doing it versus the Shattered Realm or the Crucible, and that kind of really limits people in terms of like, well, how to have fun with the game. Like we're basically saying like you either have to do this horde mode, or you have to do this like rift mode that kind like Diablo 3 initially did like forever ago. And so like, well, but people like playing the campaign. They like running bosses and exploring. Like, what if we brought that back as an end game mode? And that's what Ascendant ultimately is. Like, it raises the difficulty bar significantly, but it also makes loot much more lucrative everywhere in the campaign. And the altar that I mentioned earlier that like ties into modding, like you can use the altar to modify your session to make certain mechanics more lucrative and common. So if you're really into hunting monster totems, you can increase the chance of these empowered, like beefed up monster totems that drop more loot and have special bosses popping out of them spawning. If you really like fighting nemesis bosses, you can make them spawn way more often. Ascendant mode has this super boss called the Dread that can spawn on you anywhere. You want to
Oh,
be
nice.
ambushed by that all the time, there is a way to increase the probability of that happening. So there's all these different mechanics that tie into Ascendant mode that you can put materials into the altar and make them more lucrative and rewarding for you.
Now, this is the Ascension altar. When you say
Mhm.
pour materials into it, are you like when you put random materials in, does it say what it's about to do, or you
Yeah.
just hit the button and then okay?
So
So
you
is
know
there
exactly what you're getting. Like there's a preview, like the monsters are gonna get these bonuses, the players are gonna get these bonuses, and these are the increased rewards that you'll get for doing this. So you know exactly like which material does what. There's no RNG to that.
So
okay?
to
And is
kind
there
of,
any
oh, go ahead.
material that increases XP gain?
Yes. So I think it's
Nice.
ether crystals. So like that's something I was actually gonna mention. Like this altar, it does tie into Ascendant mode specifically, but it's actually available on every difficulty. So if you like
I
playing
was
on
about
normal,
to
like
ask.
if you just you don't like the sweaty like highest difficulty content, but you still like playing Grim Dawn, like that's fine. Enjoy the game the way you like playing it, and you can use the altar to enable mechanics from Ascendant mode to appear on the difficulty you're playing, and then make them
So
more likely to spawn.
you would need one person in Ascension mode to activate the altar, and then that
Nope.
affects your alts.
So the altar is just in the world, like on any difficulty. So if you are
Okay,
playing on
any
normal,
difficulty.
you can go to Kernhull. The altar's right there. You interact with it. You put in the materials you want. You'll get a preview of what's changing. So you could put in a material that makes the dread spawn on normal,
Hmm.
for example, if that's
Okay.
what you want to add to your experience. But you don't have to contend with all of the challenges of Ascendant mode on normal if you don't want to. It's just only the specific stuff that you're interested in. And again, just the whole goal of this altar was to let people cater the experience to the way they like playing the game.
It's like an atlas.
Nice.
It's basically
Like the Atlas in PoE, yeah.
so to kind of like tie a bow around this. A lot of people are used to, I beat the campaign, now I start mapping, now I start the Netherrealm, now I start the Monolith, now I start, whatever it is. You beat the campaign and now the game starts, right? So I know you just went through a lot of it, but if someone was like, hey, what is the end game of Grim Dawn? What would you tell the person that's never played?
So with Fangs of Asterkarn, I would say you have a lot of options. You can play the Shattered Realm and push like to higher and higher shards to get lucrative rewards. You can play the Crucible. There's going to be additional 30 waves in there to kind of push yourself and challenge yourself with. And now it's going to be the campaign. You can, all that same content that you played during the campaign is now going to be relevant again. So
Okay.
if you like bossing, you can go through all the different dungeons in the world and kill specific boss to like get their loot and get even more like other rewards as well. There's the whole like item ascension system now that there's a whole other layer of like powering up your gear. And yeah, so those I would say are the three like major pillars, like campaign exploration, Shattered Realm, and Crucible.
Nice.
You mentioned item
And I mean, you
ascension
also have
system.
sorry,
You're gone, correct?
and you also have the super bosses, right? I mean, they're kind of a one-time,
Super
but
bosses.
I would
Super.
say they are
So-
still
Wait, super
a relevant part of
bosses.
endgame because you need to gear pretty well for them, right?
So super
It's
bosses,
a
I would
one-time
consider.
kill?
You can fight them as many times as you want, with the exception of one vanilla boss. But I would consider them more of like a proof of build than like a end game farming goal. Like every one of
Okay.
them does have like a unique item that doesn't drop anywhere else in the game that kind of shows like I've done this. And there and for some builds that is best in slot, but for the most part it's more of like an achievement. Like I beat this super boss on the highest difficulty, and like my build is powerful enough to do that. And there are 3 new super bosses in Fangs of Asterkarn. So
Oh, nice.
like, how many other nights? So it was two in Forgotten Gods, 3 in Ashes of Malmeth, and 2 in the base game. So we've got all sorts of super bosses for you to find and tackle.
Hey, Frosty, since we're talking Fangs right now, do you want to switch to scene 2 where we could have Wrecked up
Yeah,
playing a little
sure.
bit of gameplay?
Do it
All
up.
right. Town Portal Podcast, scene 2. Wrecked, you are now on
Look
the
at
screen
that.
twice, just so you know. So
Yeah, you're gonna be playing while we talk.
yeah, you're going to be playing muted.
I,
while we
I
talk.
want to quickly go over the Ascension items that you talked about. These are items I believe are only in Ascended difficulty, correct?
So that's actually one of the things we ended up changing over development. And when we initially announced the system like a year ago, the way it worked is that Ascended items dropped only in Ascended mode, and they only applied to common quality items. And the goal there was to make common items more interesting and exciting again. But as we kind of played with it and we let playtesters, including Rex, check it out, it just wasn't really landing the way we hoped. And so that was one of the systems that we like went back to the drawing board and we're like, let's try it differently. And so we scrapped that version of it and came up with instead having a rune keeper next to that altar who you can give your items to, and along with like powerful crafting materials, including ones that primarily drop in ascendant mode, you can ascend any item in the game, including common items. So common items have more powerful affixes you can roll. So that that like original, spirit of the system is still there. Common items will be more interesting through this system. But then any item, including legendaries, monster infrequents, can be ascended to get these cool new modifiers on them to like spice things up and give you a power boost so you can tackle all that challenging new stuff.
So what would
And
you
one thing
recommend? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say one thing we're kind of playing around with potentially doing. I'm not sure if we'll make release or maybe post release, is actually having a chance to drop ascendant items in ascendant mode, like straight up like an item just ascends by default. And then that'll save you some materials potentially if you get a really good one.
Nice.
What I was going to say
think
is,
that would
so what do you
be-
recommend
sorry.
loot filter wise? Now I need to look at all the normal items that drop.
No, so that was actually one of the things that sucked about the original implementation, is that you had to re-enable magic items again because you might get like a good base item to then that then ascends. But since we did away with that aspect of it, you don't have to re-enable common items anymore.
I see.
Okay.
Nice.
The new Ascension affixes. What are some of your favorite affixes that you might want to roll onto your gear? For
So
both of you. Oh,
I mean, the most fun ones are ultimately going to be, I would say, the class ones, because they're going to be specific to whichever character you're playing, and that's going to be, modifiers for specific skills you might be using. I think the one that people are having the most fun with is probably the ones that increase the chance of triggering a weapon pool skill, because that really lets you customize your basic attack for like basic attack builds to be exactly the way you want them to be. Like before it was kind of like, okay, I got to get like this one, and then I still have this gap that I need to fill somehow. So you start like fishing for gear that maybe grants you another weapon pool skill, and then like maybe it's not as powerful as like, or maybe not the right damage type, but it's still slightly better than the basic attack. But now with these ascendant modifiers, you can increase the chance of the ones you actually want in your build to trigger. And I think that's the one a lot of people are like, I've already seen it like in the Grim Dawn community Discord, like that's the one people are like, you know, the gears are turning already in there.
Is it a random what you get? Sorry, Rect.
No. I was just gonna say, I think, did you make so that the numbers exactly add up to 100%? Like when you have ascended, like the ascension modifier to be the chance to increase the attack for like literally every single slot. I think you probably made it to be exactly like 100%, right?
I forget exactly what it adds up to, but since you can have multiple weapon pool skills, like you can really like, you know, math it out to your specifications.
Yeah.
Look at this
I think-
beautiful on-screen berserker skill tree. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Very
that was
nice.
that was part of the UI overhaul that we're doing for 1.3. Like the UI looks nice and fresh now.
Yeah, you could definitely tell.
my
It looks
God.
clean, sharp. Looks really, really good. I like it.
Yeah, no, we were talking a lot about the expansion. Any favorite features that people should look forward to in the 1.3, which is out for everyone who has the game, correct? Not even the expansion. If you just have the game, you get 1.3.
Yep, so 1.3 is our big quality of life patch and slash pre-patch for the expansion. So the big things I would call out for people, the stash overhaul that we kind of touched on earlier, the UI refresh, like the main menu scales with your resolution now. There's just such a simple concept that did not exist in this engine. Like when this engine was made, it was for Titan Quest. Like the highest resolution people had might have been 1080p, and that was like the, you know, the premium screen.
Yeah, you're balling.
So the concept of having your UI scale wasn't really that important back then, but now, you know, people have 4Ks, people have ultra wides. There's some people even supporting 8K monitors. Like UI scale is just a basic quality of life feature that you need in a game for people to be able to see what's on the screen. And yeah, our menu did not scale, but now it does. Such a small thing in the grand scheme, but it's gonna be big for a lot of people, I'm sure. And the other one is WSD controls, which was not in the game before. And it is not like run and gun gameplay. It is meant as an accessibility features, but like that's kind of the conversation that started with Path of Exile 2, I would say. Like so many people are like, well, Path of Exile has WSD now. Like when is Grim Dawn getting it?
Of course.
And you know, like we can't do like run and gun like PoE 2 is because like that would completely change the balance of the game. But a lot of people that started coming into the conversation were like it actually hurts my hand to play with a mouse. Like controller is also like pretty difficult for me. Like if we had WSD, I'd actually be able to enjoy this game again. And I was kind of like, wow, that I never really even thought that would be an accessibility feature. And so we were like, yeah, let's do it. So we have WSD controls that work similarly to how a controller works.
Nice.
So yeah, you can't run and
Nice.
gun at the same time, but you can move in one direction and, you know, shoot behind you, for example, like stutter step to shoot.
Yeah, what's saying is you can't
Now-
strafe, right? You can't run backwards and shoot forward
Right.
with dual stick, right? Okay.
Right, you can't do that at the same time. Like your character will pause to shoot.
Yeah.
The 1.3 patch, I believe, also is going to bring some adjustments to balance for some masteries and devotions. Is there anything that's being buffed that you want to highlight?
I wouldn't say there's anything particular I would highlight in terms of buffs. That honestly, that's something we do with every patch, even the small ones, is that we try to go through kind of the pain points for the community. Like legitimately, like if you're you know, listening to us today, participate on the forum, air your grievances when it comes to balance. We will look, and that literally shifts our attention to what we kind of
Yeah.
like focus on next, because we can only, you know, do so many things at once with a team our size.
Of course.
But when we hear people complaining about a particular thing over and over, it's like, okay, maybe that's time to finally revisit this. For example, one thing, I guess I will call it one thing in 1.3, Upheaval, which is a shaman ability, has been a pain point for the class since the beginning because of the way it triggered off of critical strikes, and which was kind of complicated and confusing for people because it was a weapon pull skill, but it triggered only off of crits. So to balance it with other weapon pull skills was really complicated. Like the math involved was way more than people should be dealing with. And so we finally redesigned it completely, and now it functions like every other weapon pull skill in the game. It just triggers off
Nice.
of your attacks, no crits involved, and it's a lot more straightforward and a lot more fun to play, honestly.
Real quick, Aaron.
Yeah.
Can you raise Zentai's volume up a little bit?
I
I'm
already
getting
raised
some
it.
word that he's a little low.
I feel like he's pretty. I'll raise him a little bit. I've raised him twice. On my end, he's like pinging yellow, red. So I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I raised him a little more.
What is it? If everyone, Zentai, say a few words.
What'd you have for breakfast?
Saying a few. What I have for breakfast? I think I had a peach, just a piece of fruit.
There you go.
How's the volume now? Yeah, it looks like
It
it's
says
100%
good on
for me.
Aaron's. People are saying it's good now.
Okay.
Okay.
Zentai is maybe too loud now. Oh,
Oh, now I'm too loud.
Oh, that's fine.
I think it was more an issue with your stream, Frosty.
Yeah, Frosty, way to
don't worry
derail
about
everything.
mine. Don't worry about it.
Zantai,
Just go to the
I'm very
professional
curious.
streamers.
How big is the team that's worked on Grim Dawn? Like, how many developers, or how, like you said, a team your size? What is a team your size? I'd love to know.
So something that we've honestly heard from other developers over the years is like that's it. That's the number of people that made this game. Like, it's kind of hard to believe, honestly, like how efficient this team has been in terms of putting out the content that they have. Grim Dawn initially was made by, at peak, 8 people. It started with 4, and we like worked our way up to 8 as we reached 1.0. For Fangs of Asterkarn, the team was the largest it's ever been at 12. Compared to Diablo 4's thousands, so we have a very different like scale of development here.
12, only 12. That is unbelievable. Kudos. That is very impressive.
That's awesome.
That is
12. We have 30 people in the company as a whole. 12 of them have been working on Fangs of Asterkarn.
My God.
Wow.
One feature that's coming in the expansion, I'm sorry to jump around here. I just don't want to overlook it. And it's something that I feel like a lot of people aren't even really like talking about too much, but it's probably going to be huge, is the potion combination system. Am I getting that right? Please explain better than me. I don't know much about it.
So that was actually a feature I had come up with for Grim Dawn 2. Like we have various notes about like things we could try to do with Grim Dawn 2, and that was actually like a document I'd written up. Like, if we do potions again, or I mean, we're gonna do potions again, but like I think I would like to do some sort of customization system that's actually inspired by Elden Ring, where like they have the one, I forget what the flask is called in Elden Ring now, but like you could put 2 modifiers into it that would have various effects on your build. And so that was the inspiration for that. And like we took that in and we added a few additional layers to it. But the gist is that you have different containers you can select for your health and energy potion that change either how many charges they have, how long the cooldown is, or whether their modifiers are stronger. And then you pick 2 modifiers for each potion that do various things. Either they increase the amount of healing, they give you healing over time, they make the potion not heal, but instead it heals your allies. So that's like a good one for pets, for example. We have a modifier that makes it so you do more damage, but you take more damage. One that every time you consume a potion, like you explode, knocking back nearby enemies. So there's, I think, 20 different modifiers right now, and they can be, you can combine any 2, and then you can have the different flask types. And you can make your own custom health and energy potions do exactly what you want.
I was watching you talk to Wrecked by Protoss, and you mentioned one that I think Aaron's gonna love. And I don't know if it was, I think it was the energy pot can turn into healing your allies or throwing a shield on them, and that will work with your minions.
Yeah, so that potion that makes it not heal you anymore will heal your pets instead.
Why would that make me excited? Why do you single me out?
Because you need help. You can't do it by yourself.
You need every pet you can get.
Okay, listen, I am the general of the army. It's a very active play style. I'm out there in front telling them where to go. I'm summoning them. It's not this one button. It's very active. So just keep that.
That gives you another button.
To be fair, Aaron, for actual end game pet builds, if you want to like min-max your pet builds, you need to press a lot of buttons and to press them properly.
That's true. Our pet builds are not like one button builds like they are in some ARPGs
Yeah,
where you
we'll
just
see
summon your
about
army
that.
and then you let them do their thing.
Damn.
We'll see about that.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Dang it. All right, that's fine. Wrecked. I was getting a lot of questions when I was streaming Grim Dawn about crafting in this game. So compared to other ARPGs like creation of item upgrades, is it like crazy complicated like Path of Exile? Is it fairly straightforward like Last Epoch? I was hoping you could just give a general overhaul with the Fangs update, Fangs of Asterkarn, how crafting's going to look.
So traditionally in Grim Dawn, you basically only had blueprint crafting. So you would find a blueprint and then you could craft that item at the smith. And if it was a like magic or rare item, it would like roll additional affix on top of that. And it would gain like a small smith bonus depending on like which smith you crafted at. But now with Fangs of Asterkarn, you can re-roll all your prefixes and suffixes. I mean, there's only one prefix and one suffix in Grim Dawn. So you can re-roll your prefix and your suffix at the inventor after completing like a certain quest in the new expansion. And you can also re-roll the like the stats of the item, right? So you can like reroll the item seed basically of the item. This will work on all items, so also on uniques. And then you can also add the new ascendant affixes if you like once you find the materials for that in the end game, which would give you like some additional bonuses, which you can then after adding the ascendant affix also reroll. But all of these like systems would have an ever increasing cost to them, so you can't just like reroll forever. But there's also no hard bricking items like there was in the past in Last Epoch, where like an item would lose affix stats. That doesn't exist in Grim Dawn. There's only like a effective end to crafting an item, I guess, when the cost is just too high for you to keep crafting on that same item. But of course, you could like use another item, like another copy of that item,
Yeah.
and then start fresh there. Yeah.
So you could change the suffix, change the prefix, put in the component, put in the augment, and ascend it.
Yes, that's also correct. Of course, components and augments haven't changed. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sweet.
Maybe I didn't hear, but when you're adding like an ascension affix onto an item, let's just say you have like a set piece, you love this set, you want to add an ascension affix onto it. Does it add a random one, or can you choose the one?
It's random.
So you
But you can
will
reroll
be able to basically get it from 3 pools, right? There's
Mhm.
one generic pool, which everybody, like every class can get, and the other 2 pools will depend on your mastery. So if you're crafting, or like if you are ascending an item as a necromancer shaman, then you can get either an ascended affix from the shaman affixes, from the necromancer affixes, or one of the generic ones.
Okay. Cool. Is there any new legendaries in the game that people should be excited for?
Should be excited for. I will hope they're excited for a lot of them. So
Okay,
legendaries.
what is your favorite?
One of my favorites. I mean, I mentioned it
Yeah.
earlier. That one that was pretty fun to make was the Eldrin set, which converts your ravens to be player scaling. And we actually had the artist come in and give
yeah.
him like a spectral look. So there are these ghostly ravens that are following you around and shooting bolts at enemies. So that one was fun. World Keeper set also really fun visually because it makes you basically into a deadly gardener, having these bulbs of poison pop up and these carnivorous plants that spit like mortars of poison at your enemies.
Nice.
Those are I think the ones that kind of stand out in my memory. Is like, oh yeah, those are fun. And there's of course the the Zantai set.
You're not
Okay,
allowed
don't
to
forget
do
about your own
that.
set.
No, that's cool. I like that.
Is there a wrecked set?
Maybe in the community league, I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wreck can throw his own
So,
set in.
so far, I've refrained
Can
from
make his
making
own.
items for myself.
Well, there isn't a wrecked set. There's a wrecked by Protoss gladiator in a certain arena in what
Okay.
people call Act 2 that people have been complaining about ever since I put him in. So the short backstory of this is that one of the things these guys did before they did the community league was they had PvP competitions that were community run, and they would announce who the winner was, and Wreck beat his own tournament. And what he didn't know is that I looked at that tournament's results and like found the character he won with and turned that build into a boss in the game with the
Oh,
same
man.
abilities and put him inside of this arena in like this outlaw camp. And since it's a PvP build, it has a lot of crowd control. It has a lot of like debilitating effects that I kind of replicated in the enemy, and so people get wrecked by him all the time because they're not prepared for this enemy that acts like another player and stun locks you and like, slows you down.
That is a very
Jeez.
cool Easter egg. I love that.
And I've refused to nerf him. It's like
Good.
you,
No,
you
don't
can,
don't
you can
nerf him.
skip
No,
it.
you want
You can skip
this
it.
stuff.
You can go
Yeah.
around him. So I have no remorse.
I remember the
gosh.
angry Reddit posts on day one, but
I remember you
Yeah.
apologizing on my behalf, and I'm like, don't apologize.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm
speaking
like, sorry for killing you in game.
Yeah, go on, Aaron.
Speaking of like
Oh,
secrets, and to be clear, we're not asking for you to spoil any secrets, but it seems like this is something that is getting more and more popular in isometric action RPGs. Maybe it's always been popular, but not really leaned into. How many secrets? Maybe that's asking too much. How much did Crate lean into secrets and discovery in Fangs of Asterkarn? Like special things that you might come across.
So secrets have been part of Grim Dawn since the beginning. Like rewarding exploration has been a big pillar of ours. So the game is littered with secret locations that have like unique chests in them that just drop additional loot if you find them. And Fangs of Asterkarn has something like over 50 of those, but I think. And there is some additional secrets I will tell you that have never been in the game before that you will have to find for yourself.
Okay. All right, we'll be looking for it.
Secrets.
I just literally discovered you could change the camera angle and see hidden items. So
Oh yeah,
I'm
like,
pretty
you don't
new to
need
this.
to rotate the camera, but rotating the camera does make it easier to find certain secrets in the game for sure.
It is interesting
Yeah, I would
watching Rect play here. He is always moving his camera.
Always
I
moving.
never move my
I'm
camera because I
addicted.
get lost and I'll
I
screw
honestly
it up
don't
all the
either.
time. Yeah.
Do you use a controller, Rect, or mouse keyboard?
No, I do use the default settings. So like I hold down my mouse wheel every time you see the camera move on stream. I'm holding down my mouse wheel with my
Yeah.
usually like middle finger and like or like ring finger and adjust it like all the time because I do prefer enemies to be like in the upper part of the screen because you have a little bit more like field of view there, right?
Yeah.
And also for shadow striking or blitzing around, it is nice to jump into like the corners of the screen as well. But yeah.
It's also fun to watch. I personally, I would get lost because I'm just like, where's north? Where was I heading?
That's
I'm going
exactly right.
backwards.
To be
exactly
fair,
right.
I've had
Circles.
mixed feedback on this. Like some people like it because they can see like what you can make with it, like what you can do with it. But other people just get dizzy watching me, and I know that I do lose some viewers just because I'm like rotating too much sometimes, and they like watch my stream for a couple minutes, and then once I'm rotating, they're like, oh, I'm out.
I feel sick. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they might have like vertigo. I was gonna say vitiligo or something.
What
Not a
has
word.
been
Yeah,
the
I'm-
response from the community on the UI change and moving towards the health globes?
So some people see the health globes and we're like, what did you do? Why did you make this a Diablo clone? Like, you guys should be original. But it's like, we didn't get rid of the health bars. Like, that's still an option in the game. I mentioned this in Rex stream that we did a couple weeks ago, but the reason we actually added health globes is because our art director always wanted them in the game. Like he's been at the company as long as I have. Like he started like a couple weeks after me, and like that was one of the things that he's like, I love orbs. I love like the readability of them, and he wanted to have them in Grim Dawn, but like we had our own design, like, and we stuck to it. But then we were doing this UI overhaul. We're like, if there's ever a time to do orbs, this would be it. And so we added a new option in the menu that you can switch between classic and an orb UI, and so now our director has the orbs that he always wanted. The community reaction, I think, no, like I said, some people were like very upset, like, why are we putting orbs in? Like, you took away my health bars. Like, we didn't. You're fine. And some people are very happy that orbs are an option now because they always preferred orbs in action RPGs. Like, there's just something about them that people like, and more options means more people play the way they want.
Nice. Okay, Frosty, are you going to use orbs?
Yeah, I'm gonna use orbs. It's like enjoy the circularness of it. Okay, what time does Fangs of Asterkarn officially launch?
Officially, it'll be July 23rd at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So there's no like different global releases. It's just going to be 10 a.m. Eastern, worldwide. So unfortunately, for some people, that does I think mean that it'll actually be the 24th.
Oh, I see. Okay. I've been getting lots of questions around time of release. I don't know if Crate's put anything out there. Maybe they have and people haven't seen it, but yeah, I've gotten that question
The
quite
information
often.
is out there. I don't think it's been pinned in a way that's very easy to find for most people. So I totally understand that question keeps coming up.
Okay.
Like maybe I should probably make some official post and be like, this question's been
Yeah.
coming up. Like this is how much it's
Yeah,
gonna
like a
cost.
got this
countdown.
question a lot as well. And I don't think I've seen it either. So, I mean, you might have it out there, but I don't know where it is as well, honestly.
That's one of those things that's not very widespread. So I totally understand the question. And yeah, like
Oh.
I should just make like a social media and Steam post, be like, this is the time officially it's coming out.
Well, now we know. Now
All
we
right.
know.
Frosty, you ready?
Yeah, fun stuff.
Here we go. Between two portals. Guys, this next part of the podcast is supposed to be a little more lean into the fun, a little more silly. Try and answer the questions as fast as possible. Scene 3. Where is it?
Yep.
All right.
Unless it's about Grim Dawn 2, then super slow, very detailed.
Yeah.
Take my time.
Of course.
Okay.
All right.
right.
Rect and Zantai, what would you rate D4 on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best currently?
I will tell you that as a big ARPG fan, that I like having more ARPGs to play. I am a big fan of the genre, and I wish all the other developers in the industry to make more of them and make
This is
them
gonna be
awesome for
good.
me. So I will not give you a score for Diablo 4 because I feel like it would be
It's not
unbehoof of
just
me
no
to do
number.
so.
Like,
I'm not giving a number. I played Diablo 4 and I've had my fun with it. I've played
Got
Titan
it.
Quest 2, Path of Exile, Last Epic, and I'm having a lot of fun with ARPGs right now because there's so many great options.
not a number large enough. Understood.
Okay.
I mean,
Gotta
apart
give
from
Frosty
like the
something to
D4
clip,
bad
damn it.
memes and the D4 out of 10 memes, I can tell
Yeah.
you one thing.
Hmm?
I played Diablo 4 on all like the beta versions that you could play before the game release, right? I played the streamer beta, I played the public beta,
Oh,
and after all of that, I decided
And
to not buy the game, and I still to this game have not bought the game.
I get it. It is the most pure Diablo 4 you can ever play. Like, you just can't play it after that because it's
can't take it out of the
perfect.
wrapping.
And they just made it worse after that.
There you go. Okay.
Got it. What is one feature each of you wish could be in Fangs of Asterkarn that you just didn't make it in?
Reworking the bounty system. A better crafting system. Those are kind of the two big things.
Yeah,
The current
so
crafting
from-
system doesn't remember like lower end recipes that are needed. So for example, if you need to make a piece of armor that requires a component, like you need to first make the component and then the armor. Like it'd be really great if you could just make the armor and it makes the component for you because you have the materials. So that would be a big one for me if we could ever come back and do that.
Rect?
Yeah, same. Like the chain crafting, basically, that you just mentioned would be big. Bounty rework would be big. And then also, I personally would have loved to see a better loot filter. But yeah, I know it's hard to do, and you have done some minimal changes at least to like accompany the FOA changes. But yeah, I mean, there's gonna be complaints about loot filters, but you probably already expect that, and that's
Just putting it on the record. If Fangs of Asterkarn happens to sell 10 million copies, I might be able to convince Arthur Bruno to put a programmer back on the project and improve crafting and dismantling and bounties. And
For the people that were watching earlier, at first he said 20 million copies. That has now moved down to 10 million copies. So now,
and if it sells 5 million, no.
so now the
20 million
goalpost,
was a new
that's-
expansion.
That's better. Okay, I'm rewording my question. If Last Epoch,
Okay.
Diablo 4, and PoE all had a league season on the same day, which one would you play first?
Well, I mean, I'm not like huge seasonal guy in terms of like coming back to games like over and over, like month after month. So not saying that I have a problem with seasons personally, but it's not like something I bounce back into like repeatedly. I think if I had to pick, if you put me on the spot and make me pick one, I guess I'd pick PoE 2 because that's kind of the one I'd be most interested in right this moment.
Okay.
But I've played all of those games and had my fun with them in the past.
Rec?
yeah. In the past, I would have said Last Epoch, like during like season 1, 2, 3-ish launch.
And you still say that, right?
Oh, it would definitely be like a toss-up between Last Epoch or PoE2 for me. Like,
Okay.
it
Sweet.
depends what Last Epoch would have in store. But it's a little rough for the game right now, I would have to say.
This is a double question here. What was one of your favorite games to play while growing up, and what current games have you played in the past, or game have you played in the past year or so that isn't an ARPG that you really enjoyed?
Okay. So growing up, the two games that really stand out in my memory are StarCraft and Star
Nice.
Wars Dark Forces 2. Or Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, whatever it was. Like that for me back then was just like the Star Wars fantasy embodied in a video game, and I like played it over and over and over as a kid.
For me, like growing up on computer games, it would also probably be like StarCraft Brood War, like the OG
Nice.
StarCraft, and then later on StarCraft 2. And then also, yeah, honestly, I played like lots of RTS, so like Age of Empires, the Stronghold series. I played Dawn of War 1 competitively for a bit. I played also like more niche RTS like Cossacks. It's like an Ukrainian game. And I played some Warcraft 3 and Dota then later, but I didn't really like play it as much until like later League of Legends coming out. I played like lots of League like since basic day one. And then also another genre that I also always played a lot, or like always enjoyed playing a lot, was basically the old SimCity games, like SimCity 2000. I think I played a lot as a game, like as a kid, and also like transport simulators. Like I played a lot of Transport Tycoon, like back in the day. I had like a super old like Toshiba laptop from my dad with Windows 95, and then the only game that like would work on that was like Transport Tycoon. So it was
Did you
pretty
play
fun
any
to-
Red Alert? Red Alert?
I have not played Red Alert myself. I played it a little bit, like a friend lended me his disc at some point, so I played it a bit, but not as much as the other RTS actually.
Okay.
Yeah, for recent games for me, the two that aren't ARPGs that I've recently played and had a lot of fun with were Satisfactory. I finally jumped into that and played it all the way like to the end mode that they have, and Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Those are my two recent big games.
Okay. Any plan for Steam Deck optimization?
So patch 1.3 actually sort of in a way does that, because that part of that UI change, since UI actually scales to your resolution now instead of being fixed somewhat, especially in the menus, it'll actually be much more comfortable to play on the Steam Deck than it used to be. Like we actually had this warning that would pop up if you tried playing on the Steam Deck, like this is an unsupported resolution, like you should probably not play like this, but people kind of work their way around it. Now natively, all the controller UI elements will just rescale to the Steam Deck resolution without having to do any additional tinkering. So it should be much better now.
Okay.
Oh, that's my kid.
Nice.
Double question. One, Wrecked by Protoss. Did you get that name for when you were playing Brood War? And Zantai, what games are you going to be working on next?
So
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that have played StarCraft, my name should be rather obvious. I mean, Protoss is very often considered to be the no-brain race compared to the other two to play, like much easier to play than the other two. And yeah, I got wrecked by them quite a lot.
so it's not that you wrecked people as
Protoss, too.
Protoss. You got wrecked by Protoss.
Yeah, I got wrecked by Protoss, yeah.
I played Protoss.
I play Protoss. Everybody plays Protoss. Carrier has
I'm a Zerg
arrived.
player,
bro.
excuse me.
Oh yeah.
Zerg all the
Carrier
way.
man.
You probably do Ling Rush. Come on, everybody knows that.
Back in when StarCraft 2 was fresh, like I did a lot of ring rushes just like in the placement matches, and some people were not ready for that at all.
I always felt like
Yeah.
out of all my friends, the best players were always Terran. Always. Like, I don't know.
I mean, to be a good Terran, you usually needed to have like average more APM than play. I mean, okay, with Zerg it might be like tied, but definitely like you need more APM as a Terran or Zerg than as a Protoss player usually.
Yeah, you hear nuke detected, and you're like, "Oh, forget it. They win. I don't want to do."
In terms of what I'm working on next, given my role in the company, I do kind of bounce around between projects and make sure that everyone has what they need and things are getting done in the order that's necessary to get our games shipped. In terms of my design side of the job, I will be bouncing back into Farthest Frontier actually to kind of work on our next 2 updates and our big expansion that's coming next year. And then after that, I'll probably start tinkering away at some Grim Dawn 2 notes.
Oh,
I see. Speaking of Grim Dawn 2, what a great segue. Question we were getting before stream, and I feel like most people know the answer, is has it been decided if Grim Dawn 2 will be live service or will it stick to the model of current Grim Dawn with the base game and expansions?
I think we would stick to the same model of expansions.
That's what we figured, yeah. Which is a good decision, by the way.
Now I know you can't really talk much about Grim Dawn 2, or if anything, but can I guess if the game's name is going to be Grim Dawn 2? Is that going to be maybe close to the name?
That's a pretty safe
Okay.
guess, I would say.
All
Grim
right.
Dawn 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Would you say that this question's ridiculous. How many years do you think the community would have to wait to have a Grim Dawn early access playable? I've heard some say 10 years, 5, 8. Obviously
If I
not
had to
hold
throw
you
an-
to it. If you just had to throw out my feeling, what do you think?
If I had to throw a number out right now, I would say 5 to 6 years for early access.
That's actually
Okay.
not terrible. That's not.
Yeah.
But then, we're talking, several years in early access to actually finish the game,
Yeah.
which is what will probably happen.
Okay.
20, 30 something.
We'll just say 5 years. We'll
20
just hold them to 5
Definitely
years.
next decade.
Somebody
Yeah.
post that on Reddit.
Definitely
so
not
we
in the
could-
20s, for sure.
All right. Favorite fast food to eat each of you?
These days, I would probably say Five Guys,
Nice.
burger all the way.
Mm. For me,
Burger.
probably just some Italian pizza to go, or German, or German/Turkish doner kebab.
Kebab or pizza? Nice.
Yeah.
I probably should have asked it earlier. Loot filter question. There's no way for Grim Dawn to put the rainbow filter into the base game. I know you probably heard this question one of 1,000 times.
So part of the reason why it's not an official feature is that I actually really don't like how the rainbow filter looks. No, sorry. Like
I don't
to
use
me,
it
like
either.
to have someone like that pops into the game for the first time and just see this like rainbow of colors in their tooltip, I feel like it's kind of look off to people, especially in a game called Grim Dawn, and you see like a million colors in your
Makes
tooltip.
sense.
I don't know, it just doesn't aesthetically match to me. The only way we would make something like rainbow filter official is if we had like a whole like retinue of customization settings where you can set the colors you want, and that would be like a whole feature that would take a lot of time to implement.
Yeah, we need 10 million sales for that, basically.
10
is what
million
you're
sales,
saying.
guys, or 20,
10
20
million.
30
No,
million
you
sales.
already said 10. We already
Oh.
clipped it.
That was
We
for
can-
the other features. If you want rainbow
Nope.
filter, it has to be 30.
We'll clip you out of context. Someone throw it on Reddit.
The rainbow filter is more expensive than bounty rework.
It's
Wow.
way more expensive because I have to swallow my pride and have it added.
No, I assume this is
Okay.
possible, but a modder can create their updated loot filter, not just rainbow filter, but like loot filter adding different options and such. Is that something possible, or?
Not with modding, unfortunately. So the
Okay.
way the loot filter works, it would require someone to actually get into the code and change the way the UI works, and that's kind of goes beyond the scope of what the tools can do.
Okay.
All my questions are just. I think I'm done, Frosty. I don't know. What do you? How many more
Well,
do you have?
I mean, let's switch. Let's go to the community questions.
Okay.
Let's ask some
Everybody.
chat questions.
This is always the craziest part of the podcast. Rect, Zantai, thank you guys so much. We are going to be moving to community Q&A. Now, what we say is we do our best to try and ask as many questions from the community as humanly possible. Obviously, we only get to like 5% because there's normally so many questions. And Rect, feel free to try and help just pull questions as well as me and Frosty are. So we're going to be officially moving to the Q&A. Also, just quick little announcement. At the end of the podcast on my stream, we're going to be giving away a couple keys for Fangs of Asterkarn. So if you want a chance to win some of a couple copies of the expansion, type in !giveaway. All right, ready? Q&A. Back to the first.
All right.
Yep. I actually have a real quick one here. Frosty LaRue wants to know. Sorry, I didn't ask this in the last frame. When is the RTS coming out?
Oh, the RTS. So I expect you'll be hearing a lot more about it next year. In terms of when early access starts, kind of up in the air still. Like we are, doing internal playtests here, but like a lot of the art still has to get made, and like the campaign still has to be worked on. So I would say next year we'll probably start sharing a lot more news about it. But when early access begins, either late next year or maybe the year after that, I would say at the earliest, if I had to guess right now.
And it'll
Okay.
be a competitive RTS. So,
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a PvP mode. Like however, there's also going to be a story-based campaign.
okay.
We're kind of looking at StarCraft 2 as like a good model for how that was done, like having, a base game that's a story and then an expansion and maybe another expansion after that that keeps the story going and wraps it up. Like that might be kind of how we end up doing it, like maybe from different perspectives of the races that are going to be in the game. But PvP mode is definitely going to be something that we'll be putting time into as well, since like that's really important to Arthur because he's a huge like StarCraft 2 guy and Age of Empires before that.
Okay. I'm already seeing tons
have
of questions on
Look,
like,
yeah.
can they put in a Paragon system and stuff like that? Just keep in mind, this expansion is the last expansion for Grim Dawn. Once this expansion launches, they do have plans for a couple of dungeons, if that correct?
Yeah, 2 roguelike dungeons.
And obviously bug fixing, balance, all the normal stuff you see in it. But as far as like major changes to the game, just keep in mind that this will basically complete Grim Dawn, right? Okay.
Yeah, I have one question, or like one technical question. Would it be possible, or is it generally possible to add like audio logs to lore nodes? Like say when you click on a lore node, that you also would have like the audio, or like somebody like read it out to you. I think there was a mod like that as well at some point.
Was
That's
there a mod
actually
like that?
That's a great idea.
So that doesn't exist in the game. Like we would need to build a system to hook that up, and then at that point, like you start asking the question, like, do we do it in all the possible languages? So that would be a lot of VO recording at this point, and the tech required to do it. So I'm gonna say that's probably not gonna happen for Grim Dawn at this point, and I'm not sure modders could really do it either, but maybe they'll surprise me.
There was somebody who did like basically a third-party tool that would basically like detect text on the screen and it like basically put it into an AI model in real time and then like have it talk read it out loud to you, I think.
That's fun. The earlier question about Paragon though is I fundamentally am against those kind of systems.
Okay.
Like there's my personal opinion is that I hate systems like that. So as long as I have a say in the matter, there will not be a Paragon system in Grim Dawn 2, or anything beyond that. Because in my opinion, a character should be able to be finished.
Yeah.
You should be able to
I want to
say,
get to my 30th alt.
On to my 30th alt. I've done all that is possible on this character. There's no further progression. And Paragon system kind of goes against that because you just keep going. At least the one in Diablo 3, like Diablo 4's Paragon system is very different.
Okay. Seeing a question from YouTube, will Grim Dawn ever be crossplay? My wife and I are down to one PC and one Xbox.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Like that's just out of for us.
Can you buy cosmetic wings in Grim Dawn?
So you don't actually need to buy cosmetic wings because we've added armor with wings into this expansion. However,
it's free.
However, that is well free if you buy the expansion. But however,
free.
There is going to be, by popular demand, Loyalist Pack 4 coming probably in September. And that one does feature wings on 2 of the armor sets.
Oh, great.
Nice. Aaron, are you excited?
I hate
Aaron's
wings.
excited.
In ARPGs,
Well,
I've always felt like wings are, it drives me crazy. So they always make me it's good.
So no War Raven for you, huh?
Right. I always tell people, because it's like wings and ARPGs, I don't know how this became so popular. It makes sense to me if you put on the cosmetic for wings and then your character floats. But the fact that they're just still running with these huge wings, I don't know, I've just been like, how the hell did this get so popular? Anyways.
I'm thinking Tyrael.
Tyrael flies, though, and like attacks
he
with
also
his wings.
walks around with them.
You had to.
We're not going to get into it. This is the time to get into this.
You guys don't mind? So you mentioned the 2 like post-release updates with the 2 dungeons, right? Do we already have like a time frame when you will release like the first one, and when you do plan to release the second one, like a rough timeline?
So a rough timeline is Dungeon 1 by the end of the year, and Dungeon 2 probably spring, summer next year. That is the rough timeline. I'm not saying for sure that's how it's going to end up, but that's kind of what we're picturing internally.
Okay. A question very important that doesn't come from me. Word on the street is you might be able to tailor the skeletons that you raise so that they're not just random. Is that true?
There are items that rig the RNG in your favor, let's just say.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. Perfect.
God.
Yeah, I don't envy you guys filtering through the chat because every time I've had to do it for stream, I'm just like, oh my god, there's so many questions.
Oh, can you pre-order the expansion?
You cannot pre-order the expansion. We've actually never done a pre-order. Like, we're kind of anti-FOMO here. We don't want you to feel like you're missing out if you don't jump on something right away. So there's no pre-order bonuses. A, because we don't have to make any extra like items just for pre-ordering it, and B, like, we don't have any shareholders to be like, look how great this quarter was in terms of revenue thanks to these pre-orders. Like, we don't need that.
How much is the expansion going to cost?
So I can tell you in terms of like other currencies. In terms
yeah.
of USD, it's 18.99.
I feel
And
like we've been having talks about this almost like, I know this is going to sound crazy, you guys are not charging enough for a 3-year expansion. It sounds crazy that Grim Dawn, considered one of the best ARPGs ever, is putting out an expansion for $18.99. I mean, it's awesome. It's literally, it's very, very cool.
Some people are very shocked by that price and be like, oh, I thought it was going to be $30 at least. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you think that we're being, we're undercutting ourselves, tell your friends, have them pick up a copy too. Pick up Loyalist Pack 4 that comes out like a month after,
I
roughly. And
think you'll get a bunch more people buying that.
If you want to thank us for pricing Fangs of Asterkarn so fairly or overly fairly, I don't know, put it however you want. Like, pick up Loyalist Pack 4. Let your friends know. Spread the word. That's honestly been the biggest thing for us over the 10 years of Grim Dawn, is people spreading the word on Reddit, on YouTube, and everywhere else. That gets more people on board.
Frosty,
we gotta
how
hit
many-
that 10 million goal after all, right?
Frosty,
Yeah,
how many
we don't get to
expansions
40 million copies sold. We're never gonna have Rainbow
I know.
Filter.
Yeah.
Frosty, what's the Fangs expansion cost to the D4 horse? How many expansions can you get to the?
Yeah, I was actually thinking, like, there's the Diablo 4 is a very affordable horse armor for $65. Is this gonna like the pack that you're selling for cosmetics? That's gonna be like what, $100?
I think all our Loyalist packs are priced at $9.
$9?
Those come with
God.
4 to 5 armor sets each.
Rookie numbers.
Holy moly.
Yeah, that's, come on. All right. What other questions?
All right.
Community question time. You got one, Rick?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Grim Dawn 2, is the engine almost done? That's someone asking that question.
So the Grim Dawn 2 engine is the same one that's being used for the RTS that's currently in development. So I wouldn't say it's done, because that's like an ongoing thing that we're going to keep, improving and developing and hopefully doing many of our future projects on. But the RTS will be the first game that comes out on the Crate engine, and then Grim Dawn 2 would be the next one, I would guess.
Is Farthest
One
Frontier
design-
not
It is
running on that?
actively in use.
Sorry.
So the RTS is running on the Crate engine, like we're playing a game on that engine, like as we speak.
But Farthest Frontier is not on that engine.
Farthest Frontier is built on Unity,
Got
for
it,
better
okay.
or worse, and mostly worse.
I
We've
see.
had a lot of problems with Unity. I'm not going to beat around the bush.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said it's gonna be like your one and only project in Unity going forward.
Yeah, I don't see us using Unity ever again, honestly.
Can people get a mod to change the visuals of spells?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay.
Now we're getting tons of RTS questions. When do you think the RTS would be early access playable? Is this like?
So that came up a few minutes ago. That was, I said, like,
think
by the
so.
end of the year, maybe early year, like 2028, I would guess.
Okay. All right.
Is the earliest I imagine we would get to early access.
One like design question about caps. Like, you have lots of caps in Grim Dawn, like movement speed cap, attack speed cap, casting speed cap, which you are kind of like being a little bit more lenient with now with Fangs of Asterkarn coming out. Are you guys happy with your decision of like having caps in the game in the first place? Do you think it makes like the gearing more interesting or less interesting?
I think overall the caps have been good because it allows us to spread more bonuses across gear in a way that someone can kind of have more options in terms of how they reach the cap. Whereas if there was no cap, we would have to be very careful about like, well, how much attack speed can you stack up if you put it on every gear slot, for example.
Bingo. Yep.
But since we know what the absolute
Mm.
limit is, we're like, well, now we can, we can put some in a devotion system. We can put some on gear that doesn't normally have attack speed, because we know that at the end of the day, no matter how many of those items you put together, it's still going to be a known value that you top out at.
Yeah, when things
Will
don't have
the-
caps, that's normally how you get crazy broken stuff. Is people find out how to stack modifiers until it's
People stack modifiers in a way that you didn't anticipate,
Correct.
or
Yep.
or you underestimated how powerful it would get, and then you have to do some balancing or nerfs, and people don't like those.
Will the 1.3 patch or the expansion change anything about the base game, like bosses, new areas, or items?
So other than balance changes, old items aren't really changing for 1.3. Fangs of Asterkarn will add Berserker bonuses to old items. There's going to be new kinds of modifiers that will get retroactively applied to old items. For example, that chance of weapon pool skills triggering, that's going to get seeded across old items that had weapon skill modifiers before. So you might check like old items that didn't previously have those kind of bonuses, and now they will with Fangs of Asterkarn. In terms of content, not in 1.3. So there's going to be stuff in Fangs of Asterkarn that does kind of trickle back into older content, but in the patch, no.
I'm seeing questions around any graphics overhauls. So is there any, I know you guys talked about sprucing up the UIs. Is there anything that someone would notice that plays a lot of Grim Dawn when they download the expansion?
So you'll definitely notice a higher fidelity in the new content, but retroactively going back to the old stuff is such a monumental task at this point that we would pretty much have to do like a remaster that, is like a paid product, because there's just so many assets it would take to retroactively bring the whole game to the Fangs of Asterkarn quality level. So there isn't like a big visual up. Oh, we got a kiddo.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, nope.
Yeah.
Little
That
Frosty.
That didn't work.
Not
She wanted
happy.
it up, and then she didn't want it up.
She's like, get out of here. Get me out of here.
The other thing for not like doing like a big visual overhaul though is like it kind of keeps the requirements, the system requirements the same. So people that have been enjoying the game 10 years ago can hop in whatever system they got and still get the same, performance. Unless we had made it like a remaster or had like all these additional video options. So like it gets quickly very complicated.
I just had a great idea. 10 million copies of the expansion sells. That immediately greenlights a Grim Dawn remaster. Grim Dawn Reforged.
Honestly,
Grim Dawn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Reforged.
See? And then-
Reforged
Honestly-
on the new. Yep.
If I'm being brutally
that
honest,
Grim Dawn
even if it sells 10 million copies, 20 million copies, I think I would rather pour those resources into getting Grim Dawn 2 out to you faster.
No, you just
Then-
hire Wreck by Protoss. He'll do the whole damn
Yes.
thing
Oh, he'll
for
do-
you, and then it's just like a one-man army in the
That's it.
background.
He's got it from here,
Don't
guys.
even pay him.
Yeah, there
For
you go.
free.
Don't even...
Did you see how much he made for free? What do we even need to pay him for?
Yeah.
Bingo.
I just need some food, some water, a place to live.
There you go.
Maybe a fan when it gets hot.
Yeah,
there
true.
is
Or an AC
a
at least.
A big fan of Grim Dawn wants to know. That's what he says. Please allow us to permanently unpin quests. Having to manually uncheck quests every single session gets annoying.
Yeah, I could see if we do any more quality of life stuff post release, that would be one that makes sense. That's something that
Yeah,
comes
couldn't
up.
you just save when you pin or unpin the questions on the left side right in your journal, couldn't you just make that save to your character file and load every time when you
Well, that's the
close
thing.
a
We would
session
need
through?
to update the save data to be able to handle that.
Okay.
Because it does, right now
Mm.
there's no save hook that you could be stored this info
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So the save format would
Makes
change.
sense.
We would need to get the tech into have that save and
Mm.
load system for that.
All right.
Is
I got
it
two more
possible-
questions,
Yeah.
but yeah, you go ahead.
Is it possible to add skill, devotion, and gear loadouts?
Mm. I mean, anything is possible with enough time and
Oh,
effort.
Yes.
But it would probably be something out of scope at this point, unfortunately, since the game wasn't
Okay.
built for that sort of setup. It would be like a whole you would have to tie into the respec system and making sure everything's still valid. yeah, it would be very complicated, like way more complicated than you would think, like to do something like that, especially in a game like this, and not to have it like since we didn't like plan for it, like it's to do it retroactively, like gets crazy.
Go ahead, Rick.
So
Can berserk-
one
Yeah, go on.
sorry. So one question would be, since Fangs of Asterkarn is the final expansion, officially marks the end of Grim Dawn's content cycle, apart from the like post-release updates, of course, wouldn't it be fitting to introduce a definitive endgame gauntlet with a clear start, finish line, and alternate boss, unlike an endless nature of Crucible or SR? That's not really true. Crucible is ending as well. We quote-unquote lack a final target that represents a true completion of the game. So I
don't
would
know, I
say
think people-
maybe
go
there's
on.
maybe something missing, like when you're like fully ascended with everything, maybe now, but not sure.
I don't know. I'd say there's a thing you could fight fully ascended that might give you a challenge.
Wow, I wonder what they're alluding to. So there is a
Yeah.
final boss that people basically haven't seen or heard about for Fangs.
I mean, I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
All right, perfect. Excellent. Frosty, you got to kill it, whatever it is. All right, I want to see you day
Yeah,
one.
I got it. Yeah, you know,
You-
I got this.
Okay, perfect. And find all the secrets. There's,
Um,
Rick, do you have more questions?
yeah, I have two small questions. First of all, when is a book for Grim Dawn coming out, or about Grim Dawn lore coming out?
Oh, or a comic?
Oh.
You know, pictures.
That would be really cool if it happened. I'm just not sure. Like we haven't really had anyone like reach out like with that sort of work. And the biggest complication, honestly, is that like, it's not something that we can just like let someone do and then like proofread it at the end and be like done. Like we would have to be involved pretty intimately in terms of like giving direction, like like in terms of the lore, like backstory that would have to fit, the world so it's canon. And that turns into a lot more work than it sounds like at first, unfortunately. Like a lot of it's just like we don't have enough time for all these things. There's just too much going on.
Yeah, that's true.
But you will have like some other like merch, I think, that people will be able to buy at some point in the future.
So that we are gonna work with Makeship again to do like another product that like a campaign that they run. It's gonna be pins this time. There's gonna be a crate pin and a Scorv pin. So that'll be happening about 1 to 2 weeks after the expansion ships that'll be launching. So if people are
Nice.
interested in that, and that'll be a way to show off your support for Crate. Like
You
we don't
know-
get a ton of money from that ourselves. Like it's honestly the biggest support from that is just the fact that you're gonna wear a Crate logo and like what your backpack or whatever, and be like, hey, like that's one of my favorite companies. Like
I'm
That's
pretty
what we like to
sure
think.
Lizard IRL is a film teacher. So you can get Lizard to film the movie for Grim Dawn, and you get Wrecked to make the remaster, and you just keep using the resources, and then,
see what you're going for here.
see what I'm saying? You can
And then
delegate.
one
We
final
pay an
question.
we pay an
because we will
exposure,
have
right?
That's right.
Yeah. One final question, because we will have the World Cup coming up. Who do you think will win tonight? Spain or
See,
Argentina?
My guess is going to go into penalties, but I'm guessing Spain. It would be cool for Messi to top off his career like this, but I don't know. I got a feeling Spain here. Their defense is so good.
It is.
We'll see.
Okay.
I was kind of rooting for Norway. They got a lot further than people thought.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, they were like the cool underdog story for sure. But yeah, okay.
I'm officially putting the 5-minute warning. This podcast will go on for an additional 5 minutes. If you have a
Oh, so
serious,
we're going into overtime.
We're almost there. We're almost there. If you have
I'm
any
officially putting
serious
in-
question, put it in now. I see there's a lot of non-serious questions.
There's now a 3-minute warning has been updated to a 3-minute warning.
3-minute warning. Anything out there? Overtime.
Yeah,
We're actually pretty good on time.
I think I
It's like-
didn't answer the question about the community league
Kids
release
running
earlier.
around.
I've seen people ask that again. So we don't have a date for the next community season yet, and that will a little bit depend on like whether or not we will be able to smoothly extract and merge our content with the crate map.
you
We
know what?
do unfortunately right now have some issues with that, but hopefully Zantai and we can find a solution, at least post-release. I mean, right now he has other things to do, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
as soon as we get the expansion out, I'm gonna have one of our programmers take a look at like the modding requests that have been coming in over the last like year or two, and some of the recent issues you've reported with the map. So hopefully we get this sorted out pretty quick for you guys.
Yeah, hopefully we could also like plan around your like dungeon releases then, so we get like maybe one season out like between September to the end of the year, and then your patch with the like dungeon can not ruin the season like timing, let's say it like that, and then maybe like
Well,
another one after the
There's
new
probably
dungeon.
gonna be a
Sounds-
patch before the dungeon patch, though, just so you know.
I mean,
Okay.
there's some things we can like hold back basically in our end as well, but yeah, we'll see.
Any updates to the faction system?
No, nothing big changing there. Like it's kind of done the job we were hoping it would. Like getting those tougher enemies showing up and bigger rewards on the other end has worked out pretty well.
Okay.
I wouldn't say there's any big change. The one thing that is changing in 1.3 is that we're rebalancing some of the infamy gains for some factions that were taking way too long to max out, and some that were way too easy. Like the Beast faction in particular, people always run into that nemesis really early on because there's just so many beasts in the game that disproportionately you would run into a beast nemesis before any other nemesis. So we slowed that down in 1.3 quite a bit. So it should be a little bit more even.
Nice. Okay.
Best place for news to ask questions. When to find out the new dungeons coming out.
Our official website, the forums, like we're always hanging around in there. So the best way to get my attention and have me respond to one of your questions would be to post in there.
Okay, great. And I guess same thing for the community league. Where are people going to find information on that?
So we have actually our own website and our own Discord server. So the website is called grimdawnleague.com. We have an official website where you can also, right now, if you want to try out the old content from previous seasons, we always put out offline seasons. So the season 7 offline version is out there, and you can download it and check it out if you want to. It will not I mean, there is a beta version that we have made for the patch 1.3 as well, which kind of works. It is basically like our beta for the like upcoming season 8, hopefully later this year in September-ish, maybe. And then of course we have our own Discord server linked there as well. And other than that, you will always find updates to the Grim Dawn community leagues on my channels as well.
Okay. There's so many questions coming in. I said 5 minutes. We're just gonna call. We're just a couple more. Will the Grim Misadventures continue? The news updates from Craig.
So once we're ready to share previews of the content we're working on post-release, there will be more dev updates. I'm not sure what the final Grim Misadventure number will be, but there will still be a few more to share.
I know it is very early in development. Has the story, the lore for Grim Dawn 2 been selected? Kind of where you want to take the game?
I have a pretty good idea of like chronologically and where in the world it's going to take place, but nothing's like fully locked in or set in stone.
All right. Frosty?
Look, we got to get to this ball kicking show.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right, everybody. That is going to do it. Town Portal Podcast, episode 16. Frosty, Rex, Zantai, thanks, guys, so much.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
This is awesome.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for heading by. And real quick, Zantai, I mean, do you have any messages to the Grim Dawn community before we close up here?
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that the 3 years that we poured into this expansion is everything everyone was hoping it's going to be. Like the team poured themselves into this project. And I would say like as hard or even harder like as we should Grim Dawn. Like this is a love letter to the community. I would say a triumphant final expansion for the game, and I hope it's everything you guys are expecting and more.
Awesome. And the Crate
Thank you so much
team
for
will be putting
having
out
us.
a when it's dropping post, I'm sure. Like,
Yeah, I'll even go do that right after this and get that information
Nice.
out there.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, everybody, that's going to conclude it. Rekt, thanks for joining us too and being an awesome support, like helping drive Grim Dawn with your community seasons. I know that's not an easy feat, and the time you put into the game is just, I mean, there's a reason why you're here on this podcast. So I just wanted to say thank you personally.
Yeah, thank you as well for having me, both of you, and hopefully also our new branch on your website is gonna, pop off as well.
Oh, what an interesting thing to say. I mean, we've got 1 minute. Maybe I should just quickly. Hey, Frosty, this wasn't in there, but he said it. So hold on. Where the hell are we?
Okay.
See now, look.
Leaks.
Guys, actionrpg.com, my website, working with Wrecked by Protoss. We are going to be bringing a Grim Dawn branch to the website.
Nice.
Right now it is hidden, okay? So if you see like up here to the right,
secret?
It's secret because it's not done. But if you click to the right up here, it's hidden. This is going to be the new Grim Dawn branch. So you'll be able to select the 2 classes that you want. So for example, if you click Oathkeeper and Soldier, up here it'll combine them, and then it'll show you the builds that are available. Right now, this is like alpha, okay? That's why it's not public. But in here, it'll be pretty cool. It'll show the skills. It'll show all the gear. It'll show the ultimate gear. It'll show the weapon augmentations and components and ascendant affixes, skill trees, and the constellations. So we
Looks
are building
awesome.
out a full Grim Dawn branch on actionrpg.com. Thanks, Rect, for the call out. And honestly, thanks for all the help.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just have to say
couldn't
that,
do it
of course, I am like basically under a non-written NDA. So until like 1 week post-release, at least, there's not going to be like any actual spoiler builds from my side, so that you guys can first of all, try to make your own builds yourself and explore the game yourself. But yeah, I mean, the website still needs a little bit of work, and then I guess after like a couple of weeks after release, it will populate with more and more builds going up, like in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Rect is one of our internal playtesters for the expansion,
Yeah.
so I gave him a moratorium. I was like, you guys need to give the community time to at least see these things for yourselves.
Of course, yeah.
Themselves
Makes sense.
before you give them all the answers.
Here,
So,
the game
yeah,
is
he has to
solved
wait a week.
24 hours before. There
Yep.
you go. You don't have to do any exploring.
I'm going to come out with my build where it's 1 skill point in every skill, and that's it. It's
and
going
then
to
you
be
just
great.
kind of use everything.
Yeah, just use all the skills at once. It's
No.
going to be so good.
It makes so much sense.
That's
It does.
perfect. All right, guys.
And you might
that's
still
going to
find,
do
like
it.
some of my older builds, but not the new ones, right? Anyway, yeah.
Stick around after the podcast. We are going to do the post show, and I'm going to be giving away 2 keys for Fangs of Asterkarn. So if you want a chance to win that, type in !giveaway. We are done. Thanks, guys. All right, we're
Bye.
out of here.
Town Portal Podcast, where the gamers unite, along with Aaron and Frosty. We're taking flight, tune in, level up, turn the quest in the world of action. We're the best. Welcome to the Town Portal Podcast.
Well, well, well. What did everybody think? How'd it go? Good, bad, great, grand, lovely, amazing. What do we think? How did it go? Good? These podcasts are always a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, what do you
You
think, guys?
loved it? Awesome. Hype. Loved it. Can't wait for Thursday. Awesome. That was very cool. Wrecked by Protoss calling out the website at the end. I wasn't going to... I love the shots fired. I don't know. It just popped into my head. Check Discord. Check
I would
Discord.
never shoot out shots at last epoch.
What
What
is
do you
it?
mean?
Oh, brother. I already saw the picture. I don't even want to look at it. We could have
All
done
right.
it for another hour. We schedule it for 90 minutes.
I
so if the
don't think I'll be
conversation's really
I'll be
flowing,
streaming
and
for much
sometimes the
longer.
developer
I will be
like,
watching
hey,
the World
I'm gonna take
Finals,
over, I'm gonna log in and show
and
stuff. We'll go longer.
when is it
but
starting? Like in 8
today's
minutes, I
World
think.
Cup, I know a lot of people.
But I think it was a pretty nice podcast. Aaron and Frosty did a very good job at hosting this, in my opinion.
Is it Thursday
And
yet? I thought
yeah.
it went really good.
There will be a new
Technically-wise,
website. There will be
audio levels,
new videos, of
video,
course, on my
felt
channel.
like that
There will
went
be a
pretty
community
well.
leak hopefully
This is the
soon.
first time we've used the stream together feature.
Maybe September. Like I
And,
can't promise you September, but like if
thought it
everything
went
goes
pretty
smoothly,
well.
that it should be at
Okay.
some point in September. but I can't
Thanks,
do like a
Frosty,
definitive like
Mr.
release date
LaRue.
at this point right now yet. If you do want to get updates, of course, you can always hang
All
out
the
on the
chats are still
season
together.
Discord,
Okay.
right?
We're gonna draw some giveaways. It
Oh yeah, we are
is
still like
giveaway times. Guys, if you are watching my
they're
channel,
sharing the chat, but
I have
okay.
two keys.
I
Two keys
just
right now. to
hop on
give
over
away.
and raid Aaron, I
Fangs of
think, because he has the
Asterkarn
giveaway and he's actually handling the keys and so on.
Okay.
So let me hop over to Aaron's
The
stream
keys will
right
be
now. Thanks so much everybody for
distributed
watching.
if
Thank you so
you
much.
win
You will see
on
me, of course,
Thursday,
stream
'cause
next
I
week
can't,
again.
you know, I
At
can't
the
give
very
you the
latest
key before
when
the
Fangs of
game comes
Asterkarn
out,
is
so just
out,
keep
and
that in
before
mind,
that
alright?
maybe
All you gotta do is
as
type in
well.
exclamation point a giveaway.
So thank you for joining us. Good night.